Just like having the right information is necessary to make solid hiring and lending decisions, being engaged in our community is important. DataFax is proud to support the positives and be a presenting sponsor of the Spark.
State Systems is focused on protecting life and property. As a local, privately owned company, our foundation was built on providing all businesses with complete fire and security protection and infrastructure cabling. State Systems is proud to be a part of the Mid-South community and a presenting sponsor of the Spark.
Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance has been serving the Mid-South since 1954. We've always focused on supporting our community and believed in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example. Lipscomb & Pitts is proud to be a presenting sponsor of the Spark.
Additional funding provided by Christian Brothers University and Baptist Memorial Healthcare. Get better with Baptist.
In honor of the holiday season, our theme this month on The Spark is faith. We'll explore an organization focused on building stronger families and neighborhoods by providing compassionate services and ministries to those in need, a globally recognized Memphis-based family of brands with a heart for service, and one of the largest nonprofit multi-social services providers in the Mid-South, providing homeless shelters, mobile food pantries, outreach to veterans, and much, much more. Have you ever been excited by a new idea, inspired by watching someone lead by example? When we talk about creating change, we start by sharing the stories of everyday heroes who are making a difference in their own way, so we can learn and do the same. This truth is the power behind this show, which is focused on business and community leaders that are leading by example to give back, fuel change, and create new opportunities for the Mid-South. I'm Jeremy Park, and this is The Spark. With it being the holidays, faith plays a very important role. And so faith also plays a very important role in neighborhood Christian centers. I'm here with the president and CEO, Ephie Johnson. And one, you've got an amazing singing voice, so I definitely want to say that on the front end. That's a huge part of your reputation across the city is your amazing voice. But two is you have a very personal tie to neighborhood Christian centers. Yes. Tell us a little of that storyline with your family.
Well, a little of that is that before our establishment in 1978 of NCC, my parents came from very humble beginnings and moved to Memphis and began to see the degradation and the different desperate issues of our community and want to invest in young people and give them an opportunity to succeed. And so over my lifetime, my first 23 years of life, my parents brought in over 75 young people in our home, and they took a 2-bedroom home and turned it into a 9-bedroom home so that young people could have an opportunity to have their own space, to begin to be focused on and pushed toward greatness, the greatness that was in them. And so I learned at an early age, sometime reluctantly, that was important to share.
Absolutely.
And so I've just been very proud to see that a child that I didn't understand at the time could come from not having their own sheets on a bed, not sleeping on the floor or sleeping wherever you can end up that night, eating bologna and cookies for dinner, and then coming to our house and having a full meal every day that I would take for granted and sometimes even want to be a little more selfish about. And I realized that sharing was the most important thing that my parents could have put into my siblings and myself, that our life is worth all the more because we began to understand that giving our lives to people was much more than trying to hoard and keep my life to myself. And so we learned that over the years, and that's why I do what I do every day.
I was about to say, sharing right there, that's the heart of what you're doing at Neighborhood Christian Centers.
Yeah.
Talk a little about the program. So obviously we'll start with kids first. You do a ton with early childhood development and then working with the parents even before conception all the way through and after school programs. Right. So give us a snapshot of the work with youth.
You said it exactly right. We've learned early on through Urban Child Institute's guidance that investing in children at conception, even with that parent before having those babies, is important for them to understand that they are the child's first teacher, that children can have more words and their vocabulary can be expanded and they can be prepared for kindergarten as a result of just knowing a few things, touching, talking, reading, and playing with their children in the proper ways. That is a simple message, but it can make a lifetime of difference. And then to invest in adolescent children and college-age students where they are empowered through our ACT workshops, through our financial literacy programs, through our after-school and homework centers that we have throughout the city. It allows us to invest in children. And when we invest in children, parents are concerned. they want better for their children.
Absolutely.
And because of that, we draw families into that. And our Love Builders program for couples and our legacy ministry for men, we want to invest in the whole family to strengthen communities. And we do that not just during the Christmas season like we are in now, which is very important to share, but that we share all year round.
Well, let's go ahead and show viewers a little bit what we're talking about. Give them some perspective on neighborhood Christian centers and the work you're doing.
If Jesus was here in this time and age, he would be working with the people that are under-resourced, the people that live in poverty. Most of us have been pretty well blessed to have things, good jobs, and you just connect those things together with the love of Jesus in your heart, and you're reaching out to the people in this community. Today we're giving away 200 microwaves and 63 ovens that the Electrolux company that just set up a manufacturing facility here in Memphis. And we're giving them out to the community, to the under-resourced people, and people who met certain requirements. There are several programs, Operation Smart Child, which is one of our biggest programs that we have going on right now. And it's the children from 0 to 3, and it's working with the brain development, touch, talk, and all of the different things that mothers have to interact with their children. And they have training programs and different things that are going on to help encourage their children.
So we just saw a little at the personal impact you're having. Talk about more specifically the work you're doing with the adults, the parents, keeping the nuclear family together.
Well, it's important to us that we invest in families and strengthen families. And through our couples program, we have over 800 couples are involved in that at any given time. And so we believe in empowering them and giving them opportunities to come to our sessions, our family sessions, and the children can be a part of workshops for them. And most of our families have been they're either blended families or first-time married, but they're married more than 7 years, a lot of them. So we're holding on and trying to keep them for the long haul.
But that's extremely important, not only for keeping the family together, but for the kids.
For the kids, intact families mean a lot to our teachers in our communities and to the community at large. You have a stronger community when you have stronger families that are intact. So that's important to everyone.
So share about Compassionate Services.
Well, Compassionate Services is where our team is always ready for emergency response. Hunger is still a big deal in Memphis. There are many families, many children that still go to sleep hungry and waiting for that food the next day. And so we're there to respond to their need for food, for clothing, for furniture. A lot of our families can't keep their kids. A lot of moms can't keep their kids if they don't have the right furniture. And so for some of these parents to get their kids back, they need a bed, or they need a mattress, or they need a couch, or whatever they need.
Sure.
And so we're there to respond to those emergency needs, even monetary assistance for utility bills and things like that. We try to supplement as best we can in those emergency areas.
So taking all that into consideration, what does Christmas mean to you personally, but also to the neighborhood Christian centers?
I've learned that Christmas means family, it means health, it means grace, and He's given me the grace and the opportunity to share and be a voice for other people. And so for us at the Neighborhood Christian Centers, it means that we get to be the conduit. We are the hands and feet for not just for Christ, but for the people that need us to be there so they can have a place to give through, so that we can serve many people that would not have an opportunity otherwise to give to their own children, to have a little happiness for themselves. Everyone deserves that. We all look forward to the holiday season.
Absolutely.
And so I'm so proud that I get to do this and get to share with other people and to share Memphis's love with Memphis.
Absolutely. I love it. You can't help but not feel good anytime you're around you and the work that you guys are doing in the community. And so they're doing over 10,000 meals this holiday season. It's one of those opportunities that you can plug in not only for the holidays, but also throughout the year. Greatly appreciate everything you're doing in the community, Ephie. And also, too, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. You're awesome.
With With over 2,400 employees here in the Mid-South, service is a key with ServiceMaster. I'm here with the Senior Vice President of Corporate Communications, Peter Tosches. And for starters, talk about the ties to the Mid-South.
Sure. Well, all of our brands were based here in Memphis for quite some time. But in 2007, we moved our corporate headquarters down just from outside of Chicago. And it was really the first chance we had to bring our corporate team and our brand teams together to work on behalf of our customers. And it really improved collaboration and communication, and we think it's been a great move for us.
And at this point, so I alluded to 2,400 employees here in the Mid-South, but you guys are covering an international spectrum, 30 different countries, is that correct?
That's right, Jeremy. We're operating in about 30 different countries around the world. We've got about 21,000 corporate associates, but we've got about another 31,000 associates who are tied to our franchises, which operate across the world.
Nice, that's impressive. You're known as the family of brands. You have a very wide bandwidth in terms of disaster restoration, contract janitorial, going into the homes with Merry Maids. Talk about some of the different brands, but also too that commonality, what ties them all together.
The thing that ties them all together is service. You look outside of our building, we've got a big sign that says "We Serve," and our brands are all about service to our customers. We've got Merry Maids, which provides home cleaning, Terminix, which provides pest control, True Green lawn care for your home and for your business. American Home Shield provides home warranties to protect your home, all of its appliances and systems. And ServiceMaster Clean, which provides both janitorial service as well as disaster restoration for your home or for your business.
And there's Amerispec, Furniture Medic. I'm kind of listing off a lot of the brands, but very well-known, popular brands. I mean, these are household names, and so I think people often forget that they're tied to ServiceMaster right here in the Mid-South. The other aspect, the real fun of having you on the show is talking about community service. And so you're, to me, really leading the way in terms of corporate philanthropy, getting your team engaged, everything from the Botanic Gardens to MIFA, you name it, you guys are heavily involved. Talk about your philosophy when it comes to being engaged and why that's so important for ServiceMaster.
Sure. Well, the We Serve sign on our building is not just about service to our customers. It's about service to the community. Our associates are really passionate about giving back, whether it's here in Memphis or in any other locations we have around the country. And what's interesting is when we give them opportunity to give back to the community, they sign up in droves.
Nice.
They're very generous with their time. They're very generous with their talent. They're always looking for ways to give back, and we do everything we can to support that.
And one of them is building Habitat for Humanity homes. And so at this point, you're on your 7th one, I believe?
Yeah, this is our 7th home that we've built here in Memphis. It's really exciting. Every year we have about 500 of our employees who come out over a 4-week period or so and build a home for somebody who's deserving, who's looking for home ownership, which is, of course, the American dream, right? And I can tell you personally, there's nothing more powerful than when you hand those keys to that home over to that homeowner, that you know you've helped them fulfill that dream.
And that's the perfect segue, so let's go ahead and show viewers exactly what we're talking about.
What we did here today was really to celebrate the achievement of these homeowners, that they've been able to achieve home ownership for the very first time through Habitat, to build and buy a home with our zero interest mortgage program. Part of Habitat's house building model is to pass along cost savings to the homeowners by having volunteers and community partners, house building partners like an organization like ServiceMaster, to have them come out and give of their hearts and their hands and help homeowners actually build their own homes. And we do that in about 8 to 11 build days. Volunteers do the majority of the work: windows, siding, doors, roofing, walls. And they really are able to accomplish a lot in a very short amount of time. Whether they've had build experience before or not, we help train them and show them how to do that. At the end of every build, we have what we call a dedication ceremony. Volunteers come out, the house building partner comes out, the homeowner is there. So it's pretty incredible, at the end to come out and to see them tour their home for the first time, to have the children pick out their rooms. Sometimes they've never had their own room before. So to come out and to see them, to be able to tour their home for the first time and to see the tangible result of what they've been working toward is pretty incredible.
Well, we're happy to give this to you. We've helped you build a house. From here on in, it's your job to make it home. Congratulations.
So that gives us some perspective on your involvement with Habitat for Humanity. And one of the other things that I personally, the story that I tell a lot is we received a call from Senior Be Safe a while back. This is probably about a year ago at this point, but to me it's fresh, but it also too articulates your engagement with the community in a very different way. But anyway, so we get a tip, and it's a husband has dementia, the wife is bedridden with a stroke, and she can't move, and there's cockroaches that have infested their house. They can't obviously they don't have the means to eradicate it, but it's becoming a neighborhood nuisance. And so one call to your team, the next thing you know, Terminex comes out there, they get the family out, they eradicate the problem. Mary Maids then steps in, cleans up the home. It's one of those, like, you see on TV where they get the family back in, and the family was just touched beyond belief. But you did it all at your cost. I mean, you did it all totally free to be able to help this family in need. And I think that's the story many times that you don't see with corporate America, where you guys are truly giving back out of the right reasons, serving the community. And it's amazing. And I know for your team, they were saying they were truly blessed by being a part of it.
Yeah, blessed is the right word, Jeremy. We've got some great franchise owners who pitch in and help out and partner with the corporate associates whenever they can. It's just a great opportunity for us to give back and really live up to the idea of service.
And so one of the other initiatives for you guys, through True Green especially, is outdoor spaces and trying to combat obesity. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Well, we all know that childhood obesity is one of the biggest things that's plaguing the United States today. And True Green stepped up in the last year to take a leadership role, starting here in Memphis, committing to renovate some community parks. And we just finished a park here in Memphis, the Southside Park, where we worked with the mayor's office, as well as with the Grizzlies,
nice, yeah.
To restore it to a point where kids could play on it. And the idea of this Healthy Green Space initiative is giving kids a place to go, to burn off some energy, exercise, to play, to have fun, and really control childhood obesity so they're healthier in the long run.
And I know too, just from working with you guys, when you talk about planting trees and beautification efforts, but really too, going into a neighborhood and building out the green space. Very important to you, very important to our community as well.
It sure is. I mean, True Green's all about healthy green space, whether it's in the backyard or in a park or in a public area. Great chance again for our businesses to give back.
Talk about your relationship with MIFA.
We've been a MIFA supporter for years, probably well over 10, and one of the great things is there's so many great opportunities here to demonstrate our commitment to folks who are less fortunate. And we all know that MIFA's got a great reputation for helping seniors stay independent and finding a place to go to have a warm meal,
right,
or some companionship. And it's a chance for our employees to get really involved. They'll roll up their sleeves, they'll help beautify neighborhoods where some of these folks live. I'll tell you a little story. I have folks on my team who actually go out every week and they have their staff meeting while they're delivering meals to senior citizens.
Love it.
So it's a great, they come back and they have the great stories, and it's just very touching to see that these people become part of their lives.
Well, there you go. That right there, that exemplifies it all right there. So I greatly appreciate you not only coming on the show, but obviously too sharing the stories of the community engagement. So Pete, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
One of the largest nonprofit multi-social services agencies here in the Mid-South. I'm with the president and CEO of Catholic Charities of West Tennessee, Mike Allen. Give us some history, but also to perspective on the purpose and mission for Catholic Charities of West Tennessee.
Sure, thanks Jeremy. Catholic Charities of West Tennessee has been around for about 40 years here in the Memphis area. We are the social services outreach of the Catholic Diocese of Memphis. And it really, at the end of the day, our mission is about trying to reduce poverty in our neighborhoods. We have 5 or 6 programs that all, in one way or another, have a goal of helping to reduce poverty.
Nice. And it's multi-denomination too, correct?
It is. We have a saying that our programs are not necessarily for Catholics, they're from Catholics.
I love that. So you alluded to there's many different programs. Let's take them in pieces. One is, we'll start with the kids. You have a camp for the kids. Talk about that.
We do. We've had a summer camp for about 7 or 8 years. This year we moved it down to the Hickory Hill area. We had 80 children who participated from 60 different families. Almost all of them came from families where the income is well below the Memphis average. So these are truly at-risk children. And there's 3 parts to our camp. There's the academics. So every child got 3 hours a week of mathematics enrichment that was grade specific to their needs, and another 3 hours a week of language arts enrichment, also grade specific. So that was the first part. The second part is nutrition. So we partnered with the Memphis City Schools Kitchen and provided a healthy breakfast, a healthy lunch, and a healthy snack. And then the kids also learned a little bit about nutrition. And a summer camp wouldn't be fun unless there was a fun part to it too. So the third part is fun. And the kids had chances to go visit the zoo, ride the trolley downtown, see the river, and then every Friday they'd go swimming. Nice. So I think it was a fun experience for them.
And that's one of those things too we talk about a lot is you take it for granted, but many of these kids, that's their first opportunity to go downtown and ride a trolley. That's their first opportunity to go to the zoo and see things like the Mississippi River. And many times, you know, those are things that as a child, it opens up your perspective on, hey, this world is huge and there's many opportunities out there for me.
Absolutely. The world in our community is so much bigger than whatever neighborhood they might be growing up in. And so our opportunity to help them see things that, you know, maybe they haven't seen before is special for us. It's great to see it, trying to watch it through their eyes, you know, and it's really fun. It's really fun.
So let's switch gears. Talk about the mobile food pantry.
So we have a mobile food pantry for about the past year, and the whole idea, as the name would imply, is that we go out into the community. We have 6 locations now that we visit in Raleigh, Fraser, Whitehaven, Hickory Hill, and a couple of others, where we go out every month and we deliver 3, 4, 5 days of food to 20 or 25 different families. And the foods that we deliver is in partnership with the Mid-South Food Bank, where we have a tremendous relationship. And the food is both healthy and, to the degree we can, kind of culturally sensitive, depending upon the neighborhood or the area that we're going into.
Well, let's go ahead and let's take that opportunity. Let's show viewers what we're talking about with the mobile food pantry.
We took over the food pantry in November of 2011. We joined forces with the food bank in January of last year, and everything has continued to grow. Last year we moved over 50 tons of food through the door here. Now we pick up between 1 ton and 2 tons every Wednesday from the food bank that we bring in the door, and just about all that goes out in the following weeks. We serve a variety of food to our clients, to include frozen meats that a lot of them don't get from any other place, and we're quite happy that we're able to do that, and they're quite happy to receive it, because I think the word on the street is, if you want food and you're in need, go see Catholic Charities. We do have, you know, the canned goods that everybody, of course, gets, and everybody's got that at home. You do, I do. Canned vegetables, canned fruit. We also try to make sure that we're aware of the protein needs of our clients. We give them tuna, we give them peanut butter. Even the people that we serve, the homeless, I was saying, that we serve from next door, what we do is we make sure they get a couple cans of Ensure, which is a nutritional supplement, as well as give them those protein needs that they get. So we're aware of that, and on our outreaches, we try to always make sure we have fresh vegetables that we take out to them. Probably 50% of who we serve is the Hispanic community. So we try to be aware of their taste differences, and we make sure protein, beans, black beans, pinto beans, they love it, and we're able to get it. So we try to be sensitive to the needs of those we serve as well.
So that gives you some perspective on the mobile food pantry. And we talked earlier about the summer camp. One of the other big things is working with the veterans. So give us a glimpse at some of the things you're doing for the veterans.
Well, we have a brand new program that launched in October, and it deals with homeless veterans and their families, which is an increasing problem both here in Shelby County and nationwide. And we're not necessarily talking about sort of the stereotypical veterans that we might see, you know, on a street corner and we might associate with Vietnam.
Right.
We're talking about younger folks, okay, coming back from Afghanistan, coming back from Iraq, who have, you know, various diagnoses related to mental illness, post-traumatic stress, things like that often manifest themselves in homelessness. So we're the fortunate recipients of a brand new grant from the Veterans Administration to work with veterans and their families to make sure that if they are on the street, that we try to get them into their own homes. If they're at risk of eviction or foreclosure, that we can stop that. And then we make sure that they're aligned with all the resources that they need, maybe the benefits that as veterans they're entitled to, employment opportunities, financial counseling, so that they can stay in their own homes. That's the goal. Get them into their own homes, keep them in their own homes, and let them stay in their own homes.
So you're playing really a multi-pronged approach on this. You're the quarterback in terms of making sure that they're getting the services and figuring out where there's gaps, and then also, too, stepping in and being the advocate, the counselor, all of those, too, to be able to get them on the right track.
Right. So that we have a case management. Those are the heroes of this who really work day to day with the folks. There's a relatively small financial aspect of it where we can do some things to help from a financial, but mostly this is about hooking them the veterans up with all the resources that they're entitled to, and also ideally employment opportunities.
Love it. How does that tie to the Genesis Home?
So we've had a Genesis House. We've had a program called Genesis House, which is a homeless shelter for men and women who have mental illnesses. And about 2 years ago, we were approached by the Veterans Administration to add 5 beds that were specifically dedicated to homeless veterans.
Gotcha.
And then actually this past year, we doubled that to 10. So we've had a little bit of experience over the past couple of years working with the VA and with homeless veterans. And so this new program is sort of the natural next extension to that.
Well, from working with the kids, doing the mobile outreach with the food, the nutrition, the education, and then obviously the working with the veterans, I mean, that's near and dear obviously to my heart and for so many here in the Mid-South who are touched by that. All those that protect our freedoms every day.
Absolutely.
Love what you're doing. So thank you very much for coming to the show, and thank you for all your work in the community.
Thanks for having us, Jeremy. I really appreciate it.
The word faith is often used as a synonym for hope, trust, or belief. It's having trust that someone will be there like a parent or a friend when you need them most. It ties to religion and the hope and belief that tomorrow will be even better than today. For each of the organizations we explored this month, and for so many others across the Mid-South and our great nation, faith plays an important role, not only in the mission and purpose, but what they truly offer to those they serve: hope, trust, and belief. So let's remember the reason for this holiday season by lifting up our families and friends, but also taking the time to pause, break away from our busy schedules, and show compassion to those that may need a little extra faith. A hot meal, a kind word, a warm hug, every effort, big or small, helps provide comfort and joy. So thank you for watching The Spark. To learn more about each of the guests and interact with your stories of others leading by example, visit thesparktv.org. We look forward to seeing you next month, and we hope that you'll join with us in creating a spark for the Mid-South. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Just like having the right information is necessary to make solid hiring and lending decisions, being engaged in our community is important. DataFax is proud to support the positives and be a presenting sponsor of The Spark.
State Systems is focused on protecting life and property. As a local, privately owned company, our foundation was built on providing all businesses with complete fire and security protection and infrastructure cabling. State Systems is proud to be a part of the Mid-South community and a presenting sponsor of The Spark.
Lipscomb & Pitts Insurance has been serving the Mid-South since 1954. We've always focused on supporting our community and believed in promoting the positives, encouraging engagement, and leading by example. Lipscomb & Pitts is proud to be a presenting sponsor of The Spark.